fucking airplane. How am I supposed to film something like this? I need the camera to be way further away than this, but then you can't see anything. Well, I'll just be off screen, who cares? Hello and welcome to the Guitar Hole. This is a show where I will be playing guitar and learning guitar. Now what I want you to do, this is like the pilot episode, i.e. terrible, and I don't know where I'm going to film these, and this is a bad place to film. So, for the first episode, I'm just going to teach you how to play along to anything you want, by basically listening good. And this is how to learn how to listen good. So, as you may know, if you are trying to learn guitar, guitars have strings. The further up you go, the higher they go. And the thicker the string is, which is usually up if you're holding it right-handed, the thicker the string, the lower the note. Basic baby shit. Now, the way to figure out how to, you know, play along to anything you're listening to without having to learn all the different hand shapes is just to follow the bass. So the bass is sort of like, there's root notes. Holding a finger on a thing and playing the string is a note. And from that note, here's the thing. Chords, it's easier if you don't think of chords as a specific hand shape, but as a root note with like additions. So that chord is the same chord, I'm just adding like extra flair with each finger, because that's all the different notes and chords are. It's just a note with extras. But it's still just that, and the bass would just play that. So say there's a song that goes... I'm just making something up, but it goes so that's the bass, and what you're going to try and do is to listen for the bass. Now, some people are good at listening and can just pick up like, oh, that's sort of round here, and then they get it right straight away, and it's like, well, how do you do that? Here's how to learn how to do that. Is just to fuck around and make mistakes. So if you're listening to a song and it's going doo-doo-doo-doo, it's like doo-doo, well, usually if you try and make that noise with your mouth, like doo-doo, can you do that? Doo-doo-doo-doo, that's the note. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And you just fumble around for ages, singing it and listening to it and going up and down until it gets to the point where it's the least wrong sounding, and you're probably there. And the more you do that, the quicker it will become every time you do it, you know, the next time. You'll get a sense of what an A chord usually sounds like if a guitar is tuned properly, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I know that sound, I know that. That's, you know. But at first it's gonna be like, I don't fucking know any of these things and where to find them. You just squeak them out of your mouth and listen for where it's like, oh, it's not quite there, it's not that, that's too high, it's still too high, oh, there it is, I found it, I think, no, now it's too low, and I found it. So that's, you know, you just do that. So that's how to start. Once you've found the note that the bass is playing, because the bass moves around depending on the songs, like, you know, oh, it's confusing. The first note that is played is usually the root of the chord progression, which basically means everything is based around this. So if you just stay on this, and you just play this, it doesn't matter what other chords or bass things they're doing, you can just stay on this, and then it will still work with the song that you're listening to. So if you're not sure what to do, just go back to that safe note, the root chord of the chord progression. I don't know music terms, so this is like not actually a good teaching. I'm just saying, like, this is basically what goes on in my head when I'm trying to think of how to play something. So you got this. So say there's like. Boom, boom. Down, 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 down. In fact, I'm gonna edit something in. All right. Now while that's going on in the corner there, you're gonna be thinking, oh, I got the first one. Oh no, I didn't. All right. You got the first bass note. You're listening for the bass. You hear it. You get the note. You got it. And then you're trying to think, where's the next one? Don't bother with that at first. Don't bother trying to stay in time with the song. Timing and getting the notes right are like two completely separate things. You need to work on one and then the other. If you try and do both, you're just gonna sound like... and it's gonna be confusing and annoying for you and for people who are trying to listen to other things. So work on at least the notes and just do it as slow as possible. But when you're listening to something like that, you can just play. This guitar's kind of weird. You can just play that and it would sound okay. And then you can do... If you play any one of the notes that are being played and just play that over and over, along with the actual like other chords, it would sound okay. So yeah, if you want to just play along to something, figure out at least one of the chords and then play that. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the whole thing just moves up. You ever hear like a thing that says, oh, I'm gay. Yeah. I'm gay. Oh yeah. Like they changed the whole song to be a bit higher pitched. Basically just change whatever you're doing higher pitched. Because your old chord will now not work. Your old note will now not be the right one because they moved everything up. But sometimes, most of the time, they're just staying in one key. And that's the word people use, key. Like, what's the key? Ah, fucking... Because that's why people say, what's the key of this or that? Because if they know the key, they can just fuck around knowing what keys it's in. They don't need to know what the song is. They just need to, you know, get the timing right. And here's the way to do timing. This is part 2 of this how to fucking play along to whatever you want to play along to, is the timing. People always think, you know, well not always, but like I've seen, like people have trouble getting the timing down for songs and how to strum and how to do the thing at the same time. The easiest way to think about it is that you're doing the strumming even when you're not actually touching the strings. You might notice guitar players do this, but let's say like you know, songs don't sound like this. I mean, some songs do, but like you know, they have like a. I'm not really playing very well. I don't have a plectrum with me. Let's try this. And you just keep that limp wrist sort of. I'm not playing any songs, I'm just playing chords. It doesn't sound good because I'm not really thinking of what I'm doing over here, but that's what you do. You just strum up and down, and you hold your hand above the strings so that it doesn't make any noise. And when you want to make noise, you put it closer to the strings, and that's basically it. Also, something when you're doing cool shit like that, you're just muting the strings by laying your finger on them. You're not pushing down, because when you push down, that's when the sound is made. When you're just laying them on, it's sort of dampening the sound. It's like shoving, you know, foam up against a microphone. Sort of mutes it. So yeah. I'm not really, I'm fucking, and that's how you play along to any song that you want to play along to. You figure out what the beat is. If it's going like, get your fingers going in that time signature. Usually songs are very simple and they just go in with one. Sometimes they're very confusing. And that's when even music teachers have trouble figuring out, like, what the fuck, why'd they make this? And there's ways to, like, when something has a very confusing time signature, there's two ways to get around it. One is to learn music theory, and that's boring. And two is to just get a feel for it. I need to tune this this guitar. It's out of tune. Here's a way to get fucking in tune. So, you know, all the things, they have a relationship really with each other. The lowest string, the E string, makes an E sound, and then you go up to the 5th fret. So E open, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the 5, it's the same as this one, the open one of the 2nd string. So 5, and then open. Well, of the A string, that is. And then you go along again. 5 of the A string is the same as the open of the D string. And then you want to know whether that's the same as the next one? It is. And then you go again. But you only go 4 on the next one, because the 4th one is the same as the open of the 5th one. For some reason. I mean, I don't know why that is the way it is, but that's how it is. And then the 5th of the 5th string is the same as the 6th string, and the 6th string is the same as the 1st string. Actually, I think people call this one the 6th string for some reason, and this the 1st string. I don't know, this is confusing, but I just count downwards because I'm looking downwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the way to tune each string together so that they all sound good together is just to make sure that everything follows on from this one, the 1st string. Sounds like this. The 5th string is supposed to sound like the 2nd string. Or 5th fret of the 1st string is supposed to sound like this. You play both of them together, and you just listen. Sometimes the difference is very subtle and it takes a while to get used to. You can buy a tuning device to put on the top of your guitar to figure it out for you. Most of the time I don't have it with me, so I just do it by ear, and sometimes that's not possible for people, so yeah, get a tuner. There's one slightly low, I feel. Remember, this is the 4th one of the 4th string. And to make sure it works, I always go from this one to the 1st one again, just to make sure that I didn't fuck up along the way. Because you can if you over tighten like this one, like the 3rd one, and then you keep going to the 4th and the 5th, everyone after that is then fucked up, and you got to go back round, and sometimes it takes a while. You know, it's just. So I didn't really properly tune it, but it sounds okay. See, that's an example of me putting my ideas into practice. I knew how the song went, and I knew, like, it's like boom boom ba-dum, boom 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 ba-dum ba-dum, boom 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 ba-dum, boom 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 ba-dum 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 boom boom. What's the boom? Boom 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 boom. because I knew this bit. Boom, boom. Dun, 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 dun. So I was just working through it in my head, saying it out loud, and matching it up to what the things are. And that's basically how you learn how to do anything. Also, chords. There's all these chords you got, like the A, E, G, D, F, or you could play F like this. You don't need to put your finger all the way across, you can have it just at the end. You got B, C. I should have done them in order, it'd be easier. A. Anyway, you got all those fancy sort of things that you can look up, but they're all sort of, as I said before, chords, they're all just a note with elaborate extras on top that make it sound nice and harmonize, like the strings harmonize with each other, which is why people use them. And then there's like different variations of things, like a D, C7 is like, it's the same chord, but it's got a bit different of a thing on it. And then the D minor is like a sad version. But it all starts on this. That's the like... So, if you have any desire to learn all the chords, fucking just see the shapes, but remember that the note at the beginning is the most important part. Because when you got a big old thing like a bar chord, for example, they're difficult to hold down when your fingers aren't very strong yet, and you know, and you got to push them all down. You got to try and play every single note. Oh, it hurts my fingers. I hate this shit. But if you think about what the thing is that you're playing, this is the main note because it's the lowest one. So you can just play that. And that's how power chords are. You know, you just take the lowest note and then the first three, or sometimes just two. So whereas it would be like this. Too many noises, we just... Oh, and another thing, you can put your palm of your hand on the strings here as you strum. And you can vary the pressure that you're putting down with your palm. Or the ball of your thumb. What do you call that bit? I don't know. It's not really the palm. It's like the bit. Anyway. Based on the pressure, you put your thumb down. And that's the lesson for today. I just told you a bunch of basics, but now, here's the thing, there's the cool thing about the Guitar Hole show, is that every other week I will attempt to learn a song that you put forth in the comments. Write in the comments the name of the artist and the song that you would like for me to learn, and I will put them all into a wheel, like I do with the Drawing Your Waifu as If It Was Riska series, and I will spin the wheel, and then learn the song, and then tell you about it. I don't know whether I will go through the whole process of learning it, or whether I will record all of it. I don't fucking know how it's gonna work. But, you know, if you like this pilot episode of the Guitar Hole, then, you know, leave a comment about what you thought, and then also tell me what you want me to learn. I won't be playing on this every time, obviously. I have other guitars. My dad has other guitars. We have a whole guitar shed. A guitar hole, if you will. And, I could play electric stuff. I don't know. Whatever will happen. So yeah, that's that video. There are places I remember Whoops. I love you. That's one of the songs I already know, so don't worry about that.